Okay, this is more for Trade Chaser, and it won't make much sense, I think, unless you knew what was kind of going on. The on the forum earnforex.com, in the forum MQ4, in the thread MQ4 works, or all the words and the charts and all that kind of stuff. This is just easier for me to respond this way. It would take me forever to write it out. All right, Trade Chaser. Awesome oscillator. You should be able to look at this right here, and you should be able to visualize what these price bars are doing. Keep in mind, because indicators lag, people say indicators lag, and I would not disagree with that. You should be able to visualize what the price movement is doing up here just by looking at this. You should be able to do that. Now, we don't know if it's going to turn and go down now, or if it's going to continue up like that. That part we don't know. I don't care about that. All I care about is this right here, the hard right edge, and this part. This would be a line 0 in my way of thinking. This would be a line 1. What follows a line 1? Quite often, in my way of thinking, a line 2. What follows that? My way of thinking, line 3, and so on. Now, say we didn't have this. Say we had the price bars. You should be able to look at the price bars and be able to visualize this. The exact same thing. You should be able to visualize this awesome oscillator. You should be able to not have anything on this chart and just see some numbers and visualize the chart itself. If you tried to do it for a while, you would see. I mean, I'm not talking about trying to, burn your mind or nothing. You should be able to see. Okay, so let's go to what we were talking about specifically. All right, now I'm sorry. I know most people this won't make any sense. It makes complete sense to us. This is charts that are on earnforex.com in that thread I'm talking about. 240, so 4 hour. Remember, this was the Swiss JPY. The only reason why I chose this pair was because it was dead in the center of the chart. Didn't choose it for any other reason. A 1 and a 2. JJMA, J Fatal. What follows a line 1, at least in my thinking? Knowing that you have a line 1 on the JJ Fatal, you should be able to visualize what the indicator itself must be looking like, plus what the price bars must be looking like, roughly, not perfectly, roughly. So 240, what's the ATR of the Swiss JPY on the 240? If we're looking for 20 or 30 pips, like we said, all it's going to require is one bar. Remember, the zigzag is always on the left. The zigzag has been down for 4 bars now. What follows a down zigzag leg? The prices started moving up. So what do you think might follow a down zigzag leg? I only chose this because it was dead in the center of the chart. Now let's go to the next. This was, I don't even know what today is. This is I guess this must have been Tuesday sometime. So it's a 240, so you can work it back by the counts. Remember, 1 and 2. This is the next chart. Now we're up to 3 and 4. So this must be 8 hours later if you can stay with the counts. It must be 8 hours later. Now the zigzag has been down for 6 bars. These other numbers are important. We hadn't talked about them because we're only talking about this. If you start talking about every number on here, it will burn your mind. Now let's go to what's going to follow a line 3. What is the average length of the JJMA? What is the average length of the J Fatal? What happens after the average length is reached? Let's go to the next one. Here we are, right here. Now, this is right now. Now the zigzag has been up for 3 bars. It must have changed right shortly after that last chart we just looked at. The JJMA count is 6. Remember, we started with 1. The JFATL count is 7. Remember, we started with 2. You know what the average length is. You know the zigzag has now been up for 3 bars. This is the 240 chart. We should have made our 20 or 30 pips that we were looking for. So would it be time to step off of this one and look at right there? Maybe step on that one. What follows a magenta 0? The zigzag has been up for 2 bars. Part of the movement to turn it from lime to magenta is already been consumed, so the price must be moving down. You should be able to look at that. I don't know what pair this is, but you should be able to look at that and visualize the JJMA and the JJFATL, and you should be able to visualize the price bars. Now let's look at the chart itself. Now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen. Okay, here is the Swiss JPY. This would have been where it would have been about a 1. Remember that first chart, that first dashboard would have been about a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I must be off. This must have been about a 1. Well, let me start with 0 anyway. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that would have been the 0 right there. Now the zigzag has been up for 3 bars. 1, 2, 3. It's not counting this one. 1, 2, 3. So we have gone our average length and maybe a little some. So it might continue up just like this. We don't know. You can let it ride if you wanted to, or you could step off and move on to that, well, the one that had the 4 zeros. And that is how I look at it. And I think that's about all the looking I got time for. But I still will answer that other question. This is question number 339.